Welcome to Miyconst Hardware. Online you can find multiple different tutorials on how to enable secure boot on your computer. Unfortunately, none of these tutorials worked for me when I tried to enable secure boot with my Gigabyte OEM WRX80 AMD EPIC motherboard. So I had to explore this subject and figure out how to install custom secure boot keys. And in this video I'm going to tell you what I find to be the easiest way to install custom secure boot keys to enable secure boot on your computer if none of the standard procedures work for you. But first, if you are like me trying to assemble or test AMD Threadripper CPUs, then I suggest you take a look at Hadi15.com website. They have AMD outlet Threadripper CPUs for a good price, and with the Miyconst 30 discount code you get 30% off, and on top of that you get free shipping all across Europe. Now, let me quickly walk you through the steps on how you're supposed to enable secure boot on most of the motherboards. First, reboot and enter your BIOS. Second, completely disable CSM. This is legacy boot options, and it might not be supported by your motherboard. In that case, you don't have to disable anything. Then go to the secure boot option and disable secure boot if it is enabled. Change secure boot operation or mode to custom if it is not custom already. Then change secure boot mode back to standard and accept factory key reset if asked. Then finally enable back secure boot, save changes, reset, and that's all you have to do to enable secure boot on a standard motherboard. Usually the secure boot menu is available on the security tab or boot tab. On different motherboards it's in different sections. Unfortunately, the standard steps did not work for me with my Gigabyte MC62-G40 AMD EPIC OEM motherboard. It seems like the motherboard does not have any factory pre-installed keys, so restoring factory keys resulted in no keys, and without keys secure boot does not work. There is also another situation when you may need to install custom secure boot keys, and this is when your factory keys expire. Usually these keys have longevity of 10 to 15 years, so it's not an immediate concern, but with an old motherboard you may need to enroll new secure boot keys to keep your secure boot active. When it comes to the secure boot, there are lots of things to learn and lots of things to explain, but most of you will not want to learn all of that, and I'm not going to bother you. Still, I would like to explain what is secure boot mode. There are two modes, setup and user. When your system is in setup mode, it means that the secure boot is not yet fully configured and the secure boot keys are missing, so the secure boot might be enabled, but it will not be active until the setup is complete. When your secure boot goes into the user mode, it means that the setup was completed successfully, secure boot keys are available, and the secure boot shall be active. If it's not active, then you have to do reset and reinstall the keys again. Once your system is in user mode, you will not be able to enroll custom keys, so you will have to reset to setup mode before you can enroll custom keys. To enroll or install custom secure boot keys, you have to do the following procedure. Generate secure boot keys, sign the secure boot keys, authenticate the secure boot keys, and finally enroll the secure boot keys into your UEFI BIOS. Yes, I know it's a lot of unknown words and nobody wants to learn what they mean and how to digest them. That's why I found the easiest way how to do all of that without affecting your main computer. For this you will need a USB flash drive at least 8 GB in size, and then you also need an SSD drive at least 64 gigs in size. Beware that data on the USB flash drive and on the SSD will be completely wiped out. Then you need to download a little application called Balena Etcher. This application is designed to write ISO images to USB flash drives. And we will need openSUSE Linux installation media, which can also be downloaded from the internet, and I strongly recommend you download offline installation ISO image. Of course, all the links will be available in the video description. Once you have all of that ready, you need to write openSUSE installation ISO to your flash drive using Balena Etcher. Balena Etcher is very easy to use, but if you're still getting lost, then let me know and I will link you one of the many tutorials on how to do that. Once the USB flash drive is ready, power off your computer and make sure it's actually powered off, not just turned off, so it's better to plug it out of the wall. Then disconnect all of your SSD and HDD drives where you have Windows installed or some data stored. Connect your spare SSD and then install openSUSE Linux from the USB flash drive you have prepared. openSUSE installation is very straightforward, you don't need to bother about anything, you don't need to change anything, just click next, 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 select your language, select your date, and that's it. Once openSUSE Linux is installed, just boot into there and open a terminal. Inside the terminal you will need to install a tool called sbctl, and for that you will have to write in the terminal sudo zypper install sbctl. When you're using the sudo superword, then for the first time you will also have to enter your password to get it active, but it's nothing complicated, just some text, and of course all of these command line text commands will be available in the video description. Once the installation is complete, you need to generate some keys, and for that you need to write a simple command sudo sbctl create keys. And finally, once the keys are generated, you need to enroll the keys, and for that we write sudo sbctl enroll-keys --Microsoft. The keys are enrolled, everything is happy-dandy, we can reboot the computer and ensure that secure boot is enabled with the custom keys. But before that, I strongly urge you to back up your generated secure boot keys. Most likely you will never ever need them again, but just in case. The keys are located in a folder /var/lib/sbctl/keys, and you can copy these keys with a few command line commands as well, which will be in the video description just like any other command. After reboot, go straight into the BIOS and make sure that secure boot is enabled. The system mode must be set to user and secure boot must be enabled and active. After that, you can power off your PC, disconnect the temporary openSUSE SSD drive, reconnect your original SSD HDD drives, and boot back into Windows. Once in Windows, we need to open System Information and search for a line called Secure Boot State. This line must show value on, which means everything went well, Secure Boot is enabled and Windows detects it. Now, I hope this little tutorial was useful for you and you were able to enroll custom secure boot keys and enable secure boot on your system. If you know of a better or easier option how to do that, please let me know in the comments down below and I will try to update this tutorial or make another video. For now though, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, I hope to see you in the next one, bye bye!